Welcome back to So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. This is season 6, Discovering Your Superpower. And speaking of superpowers, we're doing kind of a quick episode today, and it is about the 5 ideal traits of a real estate agent, or 5 things that it takes to be a great real estate agent. So we thought this would be kind of a fun topic just to hit on quickly. And we each have some ideas for what it takes. Alicia, what would you say number 1 is for you?
The first thing I think is to not be a secret agent. That's
Oh,
gonna just like you cannot be a secret agent, meaning you can't say that word. I don't want to be too salesy. Well, you
oh
are
my
in real
gosh.
estate sales. You have to be willing
Yes.
to talk about what you do, what you do, and be proud of what you
Yes.
do and stand in your light of this is what I do, and I'm here to serve and help people buy and sell homes, and not be afraid to tell anybody from your past, present, future, past lives, past work, current work, your neighbors. You have to be able to talk about it with confidence and authority. That is a number one telltale sign of an amazing agent.
Okay, so let me ask you this about this particular topic because I have run into more new agents lately than I can count who
Hmm.
are somehow like almost ashamed, it seems,
Hmm.
being a real estate agent. For
Hmm.
me, when I got into real estate, I got that license. I was as proud as I could
Hmm.
possibly be. I told everybody, I wore my little pin around. I was so
Hmm.
excited. And for me, being a real estate agent was like an elevated kind of a career in my mind. So I'm like, what is going on with these people that they don't want to be salesy? They have a real estate license. Like you got a
Yes.
license to sell, use it. But what's like there's a mindset issue there, right? That creates incongruency because when you go out into the world and you are trying to sell real estate, and yet over here you're trying to hide the fact that you're a real estate agent, that's a misalignment that's never going to lead to success. What do you say to those people?
I say you're not going to be successful unless you can have a conversation about sales. Because let me tell you, the last time I checked, your title says sales. So if you have no interest in being sales or salesy, then I would say give me your license back.
Right.
And I
Maybe
think
it's not the
people
career for you.
feel that way because you have to remember anybody that's new, you're saying new agents. This is the agent post COVID. These are agents a lot of
Yeah.
times got in because they thought it'd be a fun side hustle. And again, the
Uh,
TV world has done a disservice to our business, showing that we don't really offer anything except for fun and good outfits and heels and
Opening a door.
salacious can't scandal.
Yeah.
And never is a contract written, never is anything negotiated real life. So I think again, we do a disservice to ourselves, not showing everybody how much work we do behind the scenes to
Yeah.
keep transactions seamless, to keep things going on, to be cooperative with things, to handle all the variable conditions, all the things that pop up, and to navigate that with grace and showing amazing client service time and time again, showing up with our clients' best interests, sometimes us losing money in that fact. Now, that is a very tall order. And that's why we think it's honorable because we know what it takes. A lot of agents came into this business when the water hose was so much of buyers and buyers, and all they did was an order taker. They submitted the
Mm,
offer, they got it, everything was waived, and they went to the closing table and they got money. So there's that feeling of they never really earned the skill. They never really had to get through the skill. They never had to have a conversation. They never had to compete. They never not had to go through an inspection and explain to a buyer what this meant for them.
that's what I
And
mean. Yeah.
we're seeing a lot more agents like that.
That's exactly what it is. You're exactly right. Yeah, it's kind of like that easy. What is a good times make weak people?
Mhm.
And now we're in a harder time, which is going to make stronger agents, which is good.
Mhm.
And to that point, you kind of hit on this a little bit. My thing that I said as maybe a number 2 here is having a servant heart. So being able to realize that we create value through the service that we provide. I think
Mhm.
that that's something that is another piece that's completely out of sync with what the agent you just described, like the
Yeah,
flashy smoke and
they're
mirrors.
doing it. They feel guilty because they're not doing it for the right reasons, and they
Right.
know that.
Right, right, exactly. So you have to be able to come at this. And I always think, and this is one of these things also that can lend to and kind of an easy success point. So if you make being successful really easy for yourself by
Mhm.
making it available to you every day. So maybe success doesn't have to look like I took a listing every single day this week. What I
Mhm.
always say to myself in the morning is, who can I serve? Who can I serve today?
Absolutely. Who can I add value to today? I think we
Yes.
had a bar conversation. And so if your skill and your knowledge is not at a level that can add value, then you need to turn that back on you and go, oh, that might be why I feel like I'm a secret agent. So that lends right into where I think quality two is someone that has their skills tight and they're always learning to make their skills better and better and better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So that's two. So we had servant heart and
Mhm.
we had don't be a secret agent. What do you think the third one is?
Consistency, day
Consistency.
in and day out, whether you're getting the results or not, making your calls, doing the follow-up, checking in, adding value, learning, showing up every day with a great attitude.
Yeah.
Um, because that's when the opportunity shows up. Because you're
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. This was just making me think of, okay, so the total side note for a second, but this morning in our little mastermind group that we're part of, so one of our mastermind group members just puts in there like this hyped up, like she was like, it's Thursday, and then puts in this like hyped up Pitbull song, which is get
Oh
ready,
yeah.
know it,
Yeah.
then you know it. And everyone's like, question mark, why? And she's like, because it's Thursday. And I'm like,
Yeah.
the energy was so contagious. I like put the whole screen full of fire and stuff. It was so fun. And it made me like just get out of bed and be like, yes, it's Thursday. Let's kill it. It's, just
It was
why
perfect
not?
because, and it's about like having your hype person,
Yeah.
ready for you. It's
Yes.
so great. It's so
Yeah,
great. Yes.
it
Yeah.
was. But yeah, exactly. Get out of bed with that smile on your face, get ready to take the day and do it with consistency. Consistency is key. It can't be like you have one great day where you put everything in. It's like you run the marathon and then you're dead for a week because you
Mhm.
put so much into that one activity. Make sure that you're carving out time. And Alicia, this is something that is a superpower of yours and a specialty I know, which is time blocking. And we'll hit on this in a future episode. But time blocking and time management is part of creating consistency. So we're here to help with that as well. Okay. My next one, which was a fourth one, was now I can't read what I wrote. Oh, you actually said this one was being a humble student, someone who is always in learning and growth mode. Why do we think that's important?
I think the worst thing you can ever say is I know.
Hmm.
That's something that teenagers say a lot. When you're like, don't do, I know, mom.
I
I know.
know. Yeah.
I know. Before you can even, no, you don't
Yes.
know.
Right. You don't even
You
know what I
don't
was
know
going to
shit.
say.
You're 15.
Yes. Right.
So don't ever walk into a situation going,
Right.
always walk into the room saying, what can I learn from these people? What can I learn from the new age?
Absolutely.
I learn more from my core coaching clients, cores at the basic level, sometimes walking in as a new agent and from their lens and their
Yeah.
perspective
Yeah.
than I do agents that have been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I think too, being that kind of speaks to being in curiosity all the time. When we stay in curiosity,
Mhm.
we're able to serve people in a totally different way. And the gifts that we get because we
Yes.
didn't presume, because we went
Yep.
in with an open heart and an open mind, are
Yes.
countless. I mean, it's
You're
a
so much more classier because I
perspective.
think about the word assume and what it spells out.
Yes,
You make a ass out of you and me. And when someone
yes,
said that, I was like, oh my God, that is exactly what happens. Don't
it's
make
exactly what happened.
assumptions.
Right, right.
And be if you're that the reason why it's so beautiful, if you go from being a humble student, may I be a humble student and learn
Yeah.
because there's always something to learn.
Right, right. There is always something to learn. And sometimes in this business, you will see that the attitude or the emotion that's
Mhm.
coming to you or at you sometimes from the agent on the other side of the transaction, or sometimes from a client who's been disappointed or upset by something for any reason because they're going through stress. If you come at it not with an answer or with a solution or with a defense, but you come at it with curiosity, it goes a whole different
Oh
way
yeah.
than it
Yeah.
could have otherwise. It's a
Because
way
ego
to
comes into
build
play,
connection.
right? So being a humble student is about getting your ego in check. That's what it really means.
Yes. And I think also if we look at it another way, as this career offers us the ability to learn and grow constantly and indefinitely. So there's always, and I think that's one of the things I love the most about this business is
Yeah.
it's something different every single time. It
Oh, is
always
it
changes.
so true? And sometimes you're like, oh my God, that's never happened. And you're like,
Yes. Yes. Like I
how did
say
that
many
happen?
times in 30
Every
years,
time.
I've
I've
never
never
seen this
seen
before.
And it's so, that's what's so cool is that it sparks that curiosity, it sparks learning. We
Yes.
as human beings need to learn and grow. If we don't learn and grow, we're dying. We're standing still like
Yes.
scum on the pond water, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to grow, just like muscles grow when you work them out and you stretch them, the more you stretch yourself, the more fulfilling life will be. And it's
Yes.
like that quote you said about fulfillment. Like the reason why people are not fulfilled is because you're doing the same thing day in and day out, day in and day
True.
out without growth. So if
Yes.
you want to make progress, progress is about growth. Progress is about moving forward, to making a step forward. It's about learning and stretching and being open-minded to say, huh, maybe this is a new way. That's
Yeah.
how inventions are created. That's how new technology is created. That's how different ways of thinking is created. I just think it's so fascinating. The world we're living in today is getting smaller and smaller because we're allowed to be connected. And in that connection, we can learn and grow from each other. And if you're open, it opens you up to so many beautiful opportunities of growth. And I just think it's been fascinating. And
Yeah.
any agent I see that's open to that will go they will leaps and bounds past people that are the ones that are just like, nope, we've always done it this way, and this is how we have to do it, and you're wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. That's one of the things when I'm looking to bring somebody into either my team or even a
Yeah.
new coaching client, I'm onboarding them. I always ask, what are you doing to develop yourself personally and
Yep.
professionally?
Yep.
And it's a
Yep.
wide range of things. It could be anything. It could be a new
Yep.
exercise class, or it could be a business class or something else.
Yes.
But I look for that growth because
Yes.
they want to grow constantly. That I think is the differentiator, like you said, between somebody who is at their limit and stagnated and somebody who for whom there is no limit. And that's who
I
I want
love
to
that.
the people who are limitless.
Yep.
Um, and then the last one that we said, which actually goes along with like this being open, is cooperating with other agents, being cooperative,
Yeah.
which is a little bit of a controversial or maybe a I don't know, it goes against maybe the grain of how many agents think about the way that we should do the business, because sometimes the thought is we're on opposite sides, like we're adversarial with the person who's representing the other party. But your argument was that that shouldn't be how it is at all, right?
I think the reason I think we feel that way is because they're always in that concept of when someone wins, someone has to lose.
Mm,
There isn't a concept that both people can win, which
yeah,
is how I see it because it's a win-win.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when I represent a client as a seller, I say, you want to sell this house, right? And you want a nice person to buy the house because you love your house. They're like, yes. And then, well, someone wants to buy the house. So isn't the goal to get you guys to go to the table happy,
Yeah,
both sides happy?
right.
Right? And they're like, yeah, so let's work together to get that done. I
Yeah.
mean, even in our MLS, multiple listing service, it says co-op agent, cooperative.
Hmm.
Cooperation by definition is working together for a common goal. So does that make sense? Like it doesn't need to be adversarial. It doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be ego over ego. I won, you did lost. Whenever it becomes that way, no one really wins. It's a horrible taste in your mouth. Someone gets soured. It feels like you got ripped off and someone always feels wronged.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be that way. And I think if you come and then you can change it. You can change the tone by you being the one that step in and saying, hey, we all want the same thing. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. Let's move forward so we can get our clients to where they want to go.
Yeah, yeah, and I think you bring up such a good point in the fact that like being able to see the big picture and the common goal, if we can put that in front of people, that really helps. I think it'll be interesting to talk about this more in light of the upcoming changes that we know are
Yeah.
coming to buyer agency, because what I'm seeing right now is it's almost creating more of a rift between like the buyer's agents and the listing agent. And the listing agent's now going to take all the commission, and now I as a buyer
Yeah.
have to beg.
It can be, but I think it's about how you have to remember if you're only going to be a listing agent, that's great. But at some point, if your listings are not selling because you're not paying, it takes both sides to make the deal happen. And unless you're really wanting to go and get the buyers for your listing, which may happen, then good for you. If you're that agent, great for you. I'm not saying, that's the beauty about our business. You can be a discount broker. You can do whatever the hell you want to do in this business. It's your business.
Yeah.
But I think what shows a great agent is someone that understands, for the most part, if you show up as someone willing to be wanting to be worked with and someone that's willing to work together to get to the common goal,
Yeah.
Then I think you're going to be someone that people are going to want to work with. You're going to be the person that has a good
Yes.
reputation. You're going to be the person that when a multiple offer comes in, they're going to recommend the client go with your deal. You're going to be the person when they want to write on your house, they're going to recommend to the buyer, let's go right on this one, 2 equal houses. I know the listing agent on this one is kind and we're going to get the deal done.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's like really important to remember of how do you treat people? These are human beings. These are people's homes. This is not a game to be played with. And I think we're there to represent everybody in the best light, but doesn't mean do harm onto others to make that happen.
Yeah.
And I have that conversation with my clients. I'm here to represent you to my highest and best ability and keep you fiduciary, my responsibility. However, we are not here to hurt other people.
Mm-hmm.
Are we on common ground? Because if I get someone that's like, I want you to kill them, I'm like, well, we're not for each other.
Right, right,
Right.
right. And nor does that really achieve their goals, which is what we are here as agents to do, is to be a vessel to help other people
A
achieve.
vessel, help, kind. Like that is a sign to me of an amazing agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's who you want on your team.
Absolutely. All right.
Right.
So we gave you free. We gave you 5 is what I'm trying to say.
Free 5.
Free 5, 5 free tips. Yeah,
Yeah.
for being a great agent. So humble student, we said, servant heart, consistency, cooperative, and don't be a secret agent.
Secret
Talk
agent.
about more of all of these things as we move on. I know we got to wrap, but
Yeah.
thank you for joining us today. This has been So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
If you're interested in learning how to become that go-to local real estate expert all the sellers call to give you their listings, read Farming for Real Estate Agents. You can pick up your copy today on Amazon, Kindle, on Audible, or anywhere you get books.